spirituality was on the cover of LA magazine. And I don't know, this is probably going back 5 years now. And I was so excited to see spirituality on the cover of LA magazine. But when I opened LA magazine to read about it, it was all about religion. It wasn't about spirituality. And I think there's still a very big misunderstanding about the differences between religion and spirituality. And my definition of spirituality is the relationship that we have with this essence, with this energy part of us, with this invisible part of us, this life force that is animating through us. That is what spirituality is about. And it doesn't really have any rules. It has universal law, which is, these laws are as real as the law of gravity, but we don't study them. We don't understand them. We don't know how they work. And so we're not in cooperation with them. But when we're out of cooperation, our life doesn't work. And that's like a clear sign and a clear indication that we're out of cooperation.
It took me until I was 50 something to put it out there and say, I am a spiritual leader. And I don't mean it from the perspective of, when I say spiritual leader, I don't teach people, like, I don't think of myself as a spirit, like a religious leader or somebody who is teaching spirituality. I am a leader that embodies spirituality. And that's what I teach people to do, is take the leadership that they've worked their butts off for their entire lives to learn to be a good leader, and then start to incorporate their own spirituality, whether it's something that they've already started exploring or have not yet. There's a process of, like, for you, for me, for all of us to say, it feels vulnerable, of like opening that door of, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's who I am. I got this. This is who I am.
Dialogue, be respectful of different opinions, and also try and figure out ways that we can work together. I think that's like a life skill for every profession. It's not just my profession. It's a life skill in every single one, because that's how you get things done, right? Like, regardless of what industry you're in, you will always have opposing viewpoints. But that's, I think, how you have innovation, is that you're able to then come up with ideas based on those conversations of how you can move things along, so that most of whether it's your client or the industry or even the public can actually benefit from what you're putting forward. And so I would say that those are the types of things, definitely, like the kindness. How do you collaborate? How do you work with people? How do you serve? How do you give back? And then how do you show up, are things that my parents taught me. And and one of the biggest core values, I would say, that I don't want to leave out is ethics and morality, and being like a person with integrity. And I think that's a really big thing for me, is like, I am always truthful with people. I will always tell people how it is, even if it's not what they want to hear, so that they know exactly where I stand. So that way, there are no surprises. It's actually just me being who I am, and I'm being genuinely who I am. So yeah, I would say those would be the elements.
Disciplinarianism did not wash, and then over time I built very good connections with some of these people, and then there's that, then you go into that kind of relationship where it's not just about boss and manager and employee. It's more about the togetherness, and once you develop connections, then actually you're not just doing it because he's your boss. You're doing it because you've got a good relationship with him, and you've got a friendship with him, perhaps. And I certainly relied heavily on that. Thankfully, I was able to spend the time to get to know my team and to socialize with them and interact with them. And I like to really use that loving kind of energy, and use that to build kinship and morale. And I always found those were the best performing teams that I ever worked with, when there was that interactivity and a relationship.